I wanted to love it so much, just so much, but I just can't. Someone once gave me a great piece of advice about love and life in general. He said to me, Chris, loving someone is a lot like going to the toilet. If you have to force it, it's probably shit. And No Man's Sky is exactly this statement to me. I tried to enjoy it. I wanted to get taken away by the buzz of exploring new planets and systems on my journeys. New species of animals that were both monstrous and tiny were just waiting to be discovered. Or so I thought. So let's start at the beginning, shall we? No Man's Sky is something that's been hyped for many, many years now. The original premise and tech for the game looked promising and bewildering for the time. It looked almost unreachable. Well, it was reachable. I have to say that from a technical standpoint they achieved what they set out to do, but that doesn't necessarily make it a fun experience. The flight mechanics are off, to say the least, and that's the only way I can think of putting it. The transitions from going to space and into planetside are very pretty, very lovely, but for some reason, as soon as you get planetside, God's given you a rope tied to your ship, which means that if you get 100 meters from the surface, God just gives a quick tug as if to say, no, 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 no. No, you can go close, but you can't do much else. It's like some weird fantasy involving God and a strip club. It's very odd. Landing's a bit off as well, I have to say. You can land, and it's hard to judge. It's very hard to judge where you're going to land. You aim for the spot, you see the building, you fly over real slow and just think, yeah, that must be it. Tepe, and that's it. You think you're going down, but you can find yourself on top of a plant or a fair distance from the place that you're trying to be at. That's my experience. Like I said before, it just seems off. It just seems really off. The premise is there, but there's just no substance. It's not been fully realised. And that unfortunately as well came to light within the first day of the game being released. Two streamers that were only a few systems from each other attempted to meet up, only to find that they couldn't see each other. Oh crap. You know, what's going on? We were promised that we could see other players and that it was semi-customizable. Well, the lies, unfortunately. Initially I was willing to put it to technical difficulties. It's day one of release. Most games now, day one, aren't what they should be, let's put it that way. But it just seems like we're being lied to, even more than we originally thought. And during all this, it was quickly summed up that what we were getting actually wasn't what was promised, which is very crap. They couldn't see each other, and it was boasted that it was mathematically impossible, nigh on, well, let's just say not impossible, improbable, that people could meet each other. And, you know, for the most part, fair enough. You can believe that, but for two people to meet each other on day one, and it's not there, oh dear. Planets aren't as diverse with animals or life, or plant life, than was originally promised. Unfortunately, it feels like you've got a vast ocean that is a foot deep. There's lots of cool little things swimming around your toes. You know, you have a bit of a splash. Oh look, that's cool. I'll pet that. I'll let that thing eat some iron, apparently, because some things like eating iron. And that's it. For me, that was it. And then I'll move 10 feet over there, and I'll rinse and repeat the experience. It's shallow. It's very shallow. And I can't say that I felt any kind of reward for playing it either. I've currently got 12 hours of playtime, and I can't say that I want to press the play button anymore. It's just, I'm not interested. I don't care what's at the core of the universe, because from what I've heard, it's a very Mass Effect 3 ending experience. I haven't read any spoilers, but I don't have any drive of any kind to find out what is on the other side of the Yellow Brick Road. But let's get on to some of the stuff that's in the game, and I want to point towards ships more than anything. And they're not worth buying. Communication outposts are so frequent, and 8 times out of 10 it'll lead to a crashed wreckage. So what need do I have to pay 7 million for a ship that has 33 trade slots, when I can just keep finding ships and work my way up to that? I don't have any want, should we put, to buy a ship. I mean, yeah, it looks damn pretty. It looks really damn pretty, but I've also found a lot of damn pretty ships. Trading. Let's go on to that next. Trading's a fruitless effort. It was promised that, yep, if you wanted to do the game entirely by trading, you can, just to make your way, but once you've made your first mill, what's the point? I can mine half of the stuff that I need. I don't need to trade it. And trading, I mean, I don't know how you're supposed to keep track of the value of things in systems anyway. There's no real way of saying, oh, that's so-and-so in that system, without keeping a vast tally down on a piece of paper. And maybe that's your thing. I don't know, but it's not mine personally. The only thing I found really for the trading was that it was useful for making up the short differences that I had to craft something. So if I needed a bit more zinc, I'd just go and buy all the zinc I wanted, and that was it. I could craft what I wanted. I don't really see an incentive for mining the crap out of gold or any of the valuable materials, because, like I say, once you've made your first mill, I can afford everything that I want just selling the little bits and bobs and exotic things that I find. So what's the point? The one thing I will give No Man's Sky, and the only thing that I'll give it, is that the coding and the engine behind it is brilliant. It's really, really good. The fact that someone else can find a planet that I've found and named, and it looks pretty much the same composition wise, it's really good. The animals obviously will still be the same. You can't say that that comes around very often. It's a fantastic tech, and they really have done their best, I believe, to make it that. It's just a shame that at the end of all that effort to make such an amazing engine, that people can find the same things as you by jumping across your system. It's just so shallow in the end. The game itself is very shallow. And in the end, I think that's what this game is all about. It showed a lot more than it actually delivered. And I don't think there's any way that it could have lived up to the hype that was generated. It's got a case of the aliens, colonial marines. Not to be too harsh, it's not to that level, it's just got a case of it. Is the fact that we were shown something that was, you can find all these 20 foot, 40 foot high animals, vast open wildernesses and forests, and it's not there. Previous demos showed a game that was a lot more interesting than what we got. So for me, to sum it up, No Man's Sky is a £40 scratch card with zero return for the money that I've paid for it. And that's a damn shame, because I really wanted to enjoy No Man's Sky.